So this is entitled More Complex Crating. So what do we do about shapes like this, for example, or shapes like this, which is obviously more complex? Well, let's stop playing around. Now, the most obvious shape here is of course the circle. However, how about this? Now I'm going to choose to do this spice bottle as a isometric crate, like so. So you could imagine that taking up that space. So here's one way of doing it. Oh, and actually I should show you something. Before doing this, you know what's really nice to do? Is to, in fact, I'll do this in pen just to make it really bold and clear. But just take a bit of your paper, some scrap paper. In fact, I've got me some scrap paper, and I'm just going to go and this is just like sports, just warming up, loosening up, getting everything loose. Right, so the shape I'm thinking of here is actually an ellipse. Now there is a separate video on this which you could have a look at. However, so a circle from the top so you can see there's a circle from the top. So from your point of view, there's your circle. But you notice that as I rotate it, it stops being a circle, it becomes an oval that gets skinnier and skinnier and skinnier. So for example, that circle on the top, as I tilted that spice bottle, what you saw was that. And as I tilted it some more, what you saw was that. It got increasingly skinnier. So what we do is, if I can do this over here, if I was going to convert that circle onto an isometric side, it becomes that. So here's a fun little experiment for you. Just realize this page is becoming nicely quite random. Fun little experiment to do, or just to get your brain working. So you can see they aren't circles, they are ellipses. So in this case what I'm doing is, I'm going to do my ellipse. Now I've just realized that ellipse is actually a little bit... Remember the key word I used earlier? Loose. Keep it loose. So at the moment I'm not looking at perfect sketching, okay? This is, I'm deliberately keeping it extremely loose. Now, the reason why I've done that is because I want to draw the label. So did you see how I actually created those ellipses and then drew around them, and then now if I wanted to have a little bit of fun, so there we go. So there's your rosemary. And then I think I did this in the other one as well, just for the fun of it, adding, let's try this one. There we go. A shadow, alright? A trick, by the way, when you are doing round shapes is just that. The reason being, if you've got something which is round, the light will hit it straight on, and there will be a little halo on the sides, but those are the areas where you'll see sort of reflections. And you can see from this page it's loose, it is genuinely relaxed. Now let's look at this one over here. Now this shape's slightly interesting, and now this particular one, did you notice that this has been done in isometric drawing style? And now I'm going to deliberately do one in oblique. So here I draw the front of this shape. Okay, I'm just separating that. Now you can see there's a sort of ellipse over there and over there. So I'm going to take that down there. Just some lines to help me out. Just a couple of shadows down the side, maybe a thick line around the outside. Whoops. And I'm not 100% happy with that base, but you know what? That's alright. Now, what if I get a shape like this? So you can see this clock. Well, this is interesting because what we have is a number of shapes. So what I'm going to do is I'll do this slightly larger than the others. And this way you can literally take any shapes which you've got around the house. You can take any shapes you've got around the house and just play with them. Okay, and then we've got a little seam going around the side. Now, I trust you can actually see that my crating, I've almost completed it. In fact, let's just there we go. You see that kind of curves round like so, and then round and round again. It's got a kind of a seam where the two halves have been joined. I'm not going to write stop there because that's really quite small. It's important to know when to be detailed and when to not. And there's my first one, there's my second one, whoops, and there is my seconds. So in this particular case, again, I'm just having fun, to be honest. This is not meant to be super detailed. I'm not going to finish that off. Now that is on the side, so I'm actually going to fill those in. Yeah, that's quite nice. I rather like that. And now, I think what I will do here is just do that there, add a bit of a reflection over there, because that is a little bit glossy. Right. Now, that actually is all I wanted to show you about crating, but I thought I'd just show you. This is a fun little technique for making your drawings sort of pop off the page a bit more. Now ordinarily, the only colour that I've got with me right now, actually no, this does work. I probably would have preferred to choose a more contrasting colour, you know, sort of a really hot colour, a warm colour, sort of an orange or a yellow, maybe a red. Anyway, this looks good. And basically, I'm really happy with that. From a product design point of view, it's a little bit too busy, I won't deny, but it's a decent little sketch of the product. It looks like the product, and if I was a product designer having to develop it or modify it slightly, I've then got something to work off. So you're creating. It can be oblique, it can be isometric, and just play. Remember to be loose. That is the most important thing. I think I've said in a previous one of these little tutorials, the worst thing that you can do is be a perfectionist and expect yourself to draw perfectly. Well, there's nothing more to say on that, really. You're allowed to make mistakes. You're a human being, and it's better that you enjoy the process and gradually make fewer and fewer mistakes than you hate the process because you look at every mistake and it makes you feel rubbish. All of us have gone through learning stages and learning curves and learning stages, and perfectionism is going to stop you from achieving what you can achieve because you're focusing on your mistakes, not on just what you've done, why you enjoyed it, and just think, well, next time I can do that slightly better, but otherwise I'm happy.